A warm welcome to my dear students. I am Dr. G. Suresh Kumar, Associate Professor, Department of Design Thinking and Innovation. I am the course coordinator for this course, Design Thinking and Innovation. So, first session I am going to present now Introduction to Design Thinking and Innovation. See, the aim of this session is to familiarize the students with basic concepts of design thinking and innovation, and the instructional objectives and learning outcomes are given here. Understand the design thinking process, assess the learnings of the students using breakout activities. The first session is Introduction to Design Thinking and Innovation. When it comes to mind design thinking, the first phrase is design. What is design? When it comes to your brain, the design is, according to the Steve Jobs, he is a co-founder of Apple, design is not just what it looks like and feels like. Design is how it works. Okay, it has to be functionally, it has to work. Okay, the aesthetic part of design of a solution, that may be a product or service, it has to looks good and feels good. Not only that, it has to work. And comes to what are the good or bad designs in the following. If you look at different products, out of which what are the good designs and bad designs. If you look at the first one, it is the image for safety pin. The safety pin design is designed several years back. Okay, and the design is not altered. It is useful for many of the users. So that's why it is comes under a good design. It is sustained for a long time. And the second image, if you look into that, it is a steel water pot. The village women, they are what carrying water, and also they are what putting one on another, and there are what so many flexibilities will be there in the design, and it is also sustained for a longer time. That's why it is also a very good design. Now comes to the another image. If you go to that, here it is looking good, but while if you want to drink, you cannot properly drink. That's why the aesthetic part, it is what looking good, and but while if you drink water, you are unable to drink the water. That's why it is not a good design. Similarly, this is also, if you look into that, if you pour, the hand is there here, and if you pour, you cannot properly pour either tea or coffee. So that's why it is also a bad design. So if you look at our surrounding or in the nature, everything is designed. So comes to the design thinking. Design thinking is the human-centered approach for problem solving in an innovative way. And in the design thinking is less about thinking and more about working. So working is more. So whatever you are what thinking and planning, that has to be executed, and you have to work from the work we are learning. So that's why it is a experiential learning. And final goal of design thinking is to make people's life better. So ultimately, whatever the problem you are taken, for the users, ultimately the users are people for whom you are working, their life has to be better. This is the ultimate goal of the design thinking. So the goal of design thinking is to make people's life better. Now, what are the key elements in design thinking? There are 4 key elements of design thinking. The first one is people-centered, highly creative, hands-on, and iterative. First one, people-centered. So the problem you have to start where the problem is. You have to start from the what people problem is facing, what are the users, what are the customers, and their needs and their want. We have to concentrate in the problem. We have to think about the people are what, and a human centered approach. We have to look at the problem in all different dimensions of the human as a center. As a human as a center point, we have to look at how he is what feeling, what are his needs, what are his wants. So that's why it is called as a people-centered approach. In the people-centered approach, empathy is the key. So it is not about you as a designer, it is about the user who is what facing the problem. So you need the ability to understand and share the feelings of the others. So empathy is the key in design thinking. Come to the highly creative. So design thinking process is a highly creative. It stimulates you look at situations differently and produce new solutions and go beyond and improve existing alternatives. So whatever the alternatives are there, for the existing alternatives we have to improve it and we have to get about innovative ideas and innovative products or services, and in that process sometimes you may be failure. So the failure, and also while creating or getting into highly creative, it is a integrative thinking is also important role. It is a key role for highly creative, and you need the ability to look at all the different aspects of the problem, not only one aspect. So for the different aspects of the problem we have to get a solution. So that's why we have to integrate all different aspects of the problem. And hands-on. So stop discussion and start working. So make ideas tangible. We have to, whatever ideas that are coming into your mind, we have to prepare a prototypes. So the prototypes has to be whatever ideas that are comes to your mind, that has to be tangible, and prototyping is made with your hands by different best alternatives. So we get a many number of ideas will be coming, and the later on using the evaluation techniques we have to get some best alternatives or best ideas, best solutions. Out of these best solutions we have to make prototypes. Okay, and while preparing the prototypes or what going into the final, sometimes you may be failure. So the failure is a part of the process in order to succeed. So again we have to iterate. It is not a straightforward technique. So we have to iterate and modify accordingly, and why the failure is coming. From that we understand from the failure and to go for the success. And iterative is, so iterative, it is the road to success does not allow a straight line. So it is an iterative process. The more you are able to loop through understand, create, learn, so the higher chances you are having a good results. So the left side it is what given as one of the example for iterative process. So that is adapted by Google Venture Design Sprint. So they use this iterative process. So first they have to what starting with the idea and build the idea and then launch. From after launching they are what learning, and again it is what going either change your idea and again build a launch. So in this way in iterative process they improve their products and services. So comes to innovation. So the innovative solutions, and we have an intelligent ideas, inspirations and creativity. So in come to the innovation, innovation is the practical application of ideas that leads to the launch of new products or services, or enhancement in the provisions of the existing products or services. Whatever existing products and services are there, we are improving or what enhancing, okay, their ability to usage of the users and customers innovatively. In the innovation, come to the design thinking. So here the human values, technology and business. So first of all, whatever the solution you are what getting, that solution should be usable, usability and what desirability by the human. The people, those who are what working, for whom you are what working, so it should be usable for them and desirable. And that solution should be technologically feasible, and after technologically feasible, then it has to be viable in the market. So this intersection point is nothing but the whole, the three things, three spheres has to be taken care by the design thinking. So this is the intersection point, it is nothing but the experience. Out of this experience, so the experience is what coming into innovation. So this is the innovation spot, okay, for the design thinking. The relation between the design thinking and innovation. Design thinking and innovation are closely related because design thinking can be a powerful tool for generating innovative solutions to complex problems. And by applying human-centered approach, testing and iterative ideas, designers can identify opportunities for innovation and create new products, services or process that bring value to user and stakeholders. And next we discuss about the breakout activity. So here is one breakout activity will be there here. First, the student has to explore Delhi-Gurgaon Expressway. So it is a very large toll plaza that is situated in the Delhi-Gurgaon Expressway. There we are frequently seen traffic jams. So the student has to know about what exactly happening in the Delhi-Gurgaon and what are the existing solutions are there, and they have to explore the problem of Delhi-Gurgaon. And the next thing is, and also another activity regarding the Google Glass. How the Google Glass is what failed in the market, even though the technologically it is what good, why it is failed in the market. That has to be explored in the breakout activity. And come to the design thinking, introduction to design thinking. So all these examples, after doing the breakout activities of Delhi-Gurgaon Express Highway and Google Glass, so student can understand about the empathy is very, very important. So whatever the product or what solution, that has to be useful for the users. Okay, so user has to be what taken account while providing the solutions. So that's why design thinking is playing a very, very important role. So in the design thinking, what is the design thinking process? It is a 5-step process. So it has 5 steps: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, test. It is not a linear process, it is an iterative process. In empathize, we understand about the problem, user, we are asking right questions to the user, and we have to get and understand about the problem and the user. What user really need, so that has to be what get, and here we are the outcome of the empathy is nothing but the insight. The insight is nothing but it is the ability to understand the user and the problem. And after analyzing whatever you done empathetic research, from the empathetic research we analyze, and finally we are getting the need of the problem, need of the user. So that has to be what restate the problem, so that we call as a problem statement. So in the define stage, we are analyzing the empathetic results, and finally we have to get the what is the real or what required need of the user, that has to be stated into a problem, that we call it as a define. After define, we have to entering into the ideate. Whatever the problem statement is there, for that problem we have to generate as many number of ideas. We have to generate the number of ideas, and out of the number of ideas, again we have to shortlist the ideas using the evaluation techniques, and the best ideas has to be selected. For these best ideas, we have to go for prototyping. We have to made the ideas into tangible prototypes. Okay, after construction of the prototypes are made prototypes, so that prototypes has to be tested by the users. We have to place these prototypes into different places. Again, the prototypes, low fidelity, high fidelity prototypes, there are various types of prototypes are there, and after that we are keep on getting the feedback from the user. So then we have to test it. So the test is nothing but the feedback from the user. So after several iterations, okay, we have to get back the prototype or get back to the ideate or get back to the define. So after this several times of iteration, the finally we have to what reach to the expectations of the users. We have to fulfill the expectations of the user. So this is about the 5 steps of design thinking process. And in the first step of design thinking, empathize. this stage is oriented towards understanding the intended user and the problem from their viewpoint by observation, engagement and immersion. So here the step is what completely on problem understanding. We have to understand about the problem and also as well as the user. So the problem from the user perspective we have to looking into that, and for that we have to observe and engage and also immerse. So this immersion is nothing but we call it as a, we have to step into the shoes of the user. So this is called the empathy or empathize, and after empathize then we have to entering into the define step. In the define step at this stage, whatever you are what getting the insights from the empathy, discovered in the empathy, we have to transform into what exactly need. So transform to needs and define a problem statement. So this is the define stage, and the next we have to go to the ideate. In the ideate, within the context of the problem statement, because the context is also very very important. The same problem with a different context, solution will differ. The problem may be same, depends upon the context, the solutions are differ. So that's why within the context of the problem statement, the team has to generate many radical design alternatives and solutions that explore the solution space and identify the best solution. We have to provide the best solutions. This ideate state is to generate many number of ideas as well as to get the best solutions out of which. And the next stage is prototype. In the prototype, at this stage the best solutions is made as either product within the team, and the users and others will experience and interact. The prototypes has to be made, it has to be easy to experience and what interact with the prototype. So like that we have to make the prototypes. And the next one is testing process. In the testing, the prototypes are placed into appropriate contexts of the users, wherever the users are what living, and the goal of gathering thoughtful feedback, the goal is to gathering the thoughtful feedback from the users and learning and what refining the solutions. So these are the 5 steps of design thinking. And then we can see it is a video regarding the second grade students, how they are implemented this design thinking, okay, into their project. So the 5 steps of design thinking, how they are what implemented, that has to be what the student has to listen this video to understand about how the design thinking is applied. And the next breakout activity, this breakout activity is regarding the a problem identification. So the intention of this breakout activity is to get or stimulate different types of ideas. Just if you see this, the incomplete figure. Just if you looking into the part of this diagram, the student can explore and what get many number of ideas. So they have to complete this incomplete figure. So here we provide some of the previous students, those who are what done in the sample answers. Okay, thank you.